You've reached your destination.
Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the pod. You're listening to There and Back with Shavana and Cassidy. And today we have a guest, special guest, Denise, and she has a swimwear brand that we're going to talk about and get into more about her and her brand. And yeah, but before that, we are going to kick it off with our peaks and pits. Cassidy, would you like to kick it off?
I'd love to kick off pit. Maybe not. I'm really having okay. So my pit is I'm just having a day. I'm just having a week, honestly, and it's Sunday, and that's okay because that means tomorrow or it's Saturday. Just kidding. Tomorrow will be Sunday, and then Monday will start the new week. It's just been a week. It's been like the most draining week, but it's gonna be fine. And then my peak is that's how bad of a week it's been. I had apple pie with vanilla ice cream. That's my peak. I don't know. It's been a rough week, friends. Really rough week. So
Well, I hope it gets better.
you got to take what you can. Thanks. It'll be fine.
Next week is better.
It's gonna be great.
All right. Well, I'll go next, I guess. My peak is I have always wanted to be a morning person, like always, and I've struggled with it. But as of the last like 2 or 3 weeks, I've been waking up by like 8 a.m. without an alarm, which is new for me. So I feel accomplished. So that's my peak.
Good job.
And thank you. My pit is we have a storm, which is actually really funny. I got an alert on my phone yesterday and it was like hurricane warning. And I was like, I'm not in Florida. What? So we have like a tropical storm. I think it's more of a tropical depression situation, but it's just like a rainy, stormy weekend, which is, not ideal, but it does make for nice reading fall vibes. So I'll take it. All right.
Giving like coffee shop while you like have a book or like are doing work and you just like hear the like rain hitting the window. That's what it's good.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's good.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd say my peak is that I ordered the new iPhone.
Ooh.
I'll get it tomorrow, technically. But I have a really old phone. So people are always like, your videos or your photos, we should use my phone. I'm like, yeah, I'm just running a business with a really old iPhone. So I'm really excited about that. The pit hasn't been that eventful of a week, which is probably a good thing. But I was out all day yesterday, and then I came home and I told myself, like, we're gonna eat food at home. Well, everything was frozen. And I really, really, really wanted Taco Bell. And so the pit was that I didn't go and get Taco Bell. I just ate whatever I found at the house.
Okay.
That's like the worst is when it's like I want to eat out, but I already like promised myself I'm not gonna eat out.
Yeah, I was like, I wanted Mexican. And I was like, I can afford Taco Bell. I'm like, I'm not doing it. Like
That's funny.
Totally understandable. Yeah. I also am on the watch of a new iPhone. I also would love to upgrade. So coming soon.
Aren't
maybe.
you going after this?
I want to go and see it. Yeah. I want to go
do it.
Yeah. I'm also behind in the iPhone's realm.
What phone are you on? I thought you had like a 12.
I have an 11.
Oh,
I have the 10R, so
okay. Yeah, you're behind. You're a little behind there.
It's okay. Both of us are gonna be on top now.
13.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's funny.
All right. What's everyone's media minute?
Okay. Somebody else go first because I just watched a movie, but I can't. Like, it's a long name, so you have to give me. Somebody else go first. So I can figure it out.
All right. So my media minute is all the fall vibes, content on social media. It's really putting me in the fall spirit. Really enjoying it. Love all the drinks, making me want to spend too much money on coffee, but it's fine. And wanting me to buy decorations for my apartment that I also don't need to spend money on, but it's also fine. Yeah.
I found the name of. So I literally just took a nap after working. I worked this morning on 5 hours of sleep, and then I came home and told myself I wanted to watch a movie. I watched the first 30 minutes, and so far it's good. So it's gonna be my media minute, and I'll relay back hopefully by next episode if it's good. It's called Sitting in Bars with Cake, and it's this girl who's in law school. She's a roommate.
That.
Okay, the first 30 minutes were good.
No,
was
it's
it
good.
good
It's
overall?
good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. I got to. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody, but like I got to the point with the friend where the situation happened.
Yeah,
and I was like, and then I fell asleep.
Yeah, no, you're gonna like it. It's good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's my
Okay.
media minute.
Well, I'll have to
All
add
right.
it to my watch
But
list.
Yeah,
it's
you
a
should.
movie, which is nice because Connor and I are watching One Tree Hill, and I was like, I don't want to watch it without him. So I was like, I have nothing to watch, and it popped up on like my little hub.
Yeah.
That's why I was like, okay, sure, I'll watch it. And I really like, I can't think of the girl's name. Yashari, whoever the main character is in the movie. She's also in like Grownish and Adultish or whatever those movies are
Yes.
called.
Yeah.
I really like her.
Yeah. I like her, and I like the other main character too. I feel like they're good. I don't know.
I like the other main character, but I've never seen her before in anything. Or at
She's
least I
in
don't think I can.
this show. I'm pretty sure the show is called Dare Me on. I think that's the one.
Yeah,
On
I don't
Netflix.
think I ever watched it.
It's really
I
good.
mean, I liked her in what I saw. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
say mine is gonna be is maybe it's just my feed, but it's always people doing different hairstyles, and I
Yeah.
really have plenty of hair, and I'm just lazy. I'll be like this or a clip. So seeing all those is really fun because I'm like, oh, I can do that. So
Yeah.
No, the amount of saved hairstyles I have probably on TikTok, but I've never actually tried any of them. That's
I've tried some of them, but like my hair's so dark you can't see like with
yeah.
blonde you can. But they're fun.
Yeah, I know I'm about to
I
go back to dark, and I'm like sad because it's not gonna be as like visual, but it's fine.
For fall.
I have zero patience when it comes to doing hair, so I love seeing them. I love being like, oh, I could do that, and then no, not for me.
I love when Shavana comes to visit because then I just do her hair for her.
Yes, I love that.
I
Yeah.
honestly saw TikTok the other day and it was like, this is girlhood, and it was like 3 girls all getting ready together, and I was like, oh, I miss college because like it would be fun. Like I would do somebody's makeup, somebody would do my hair, and like we would all just like swap around who's doing what. You don't have that when you live alone. It's boring.
Feel that.
All right. So,
All right, you
Denise,
ready to
would
get into
you?
it?
I think we are. Would you like to give a little introduction of yourself and then of your brand?
Okay.
Awesome.
So I am Denise. The brand is Denise Elouide. That's my first and middle name. It's Elouide like melody without the M. That's the best way
that's
to explain
cool.
because it is hard to say and read probably. I kind of like essentially started this because I was sick of swimsuits not fitting, and it was something I found a lot of other friends saying the same. And
Mhm.
I mean, we have really great swimwear brands out there, but I always felt like those were way out of my price range. $90 just for a top or like it was just a top for 90 or just the bottom for 90, then I
That's
could
yeah,
the
it's
other.
insane.
Yeah. So I was trying to create something that was within a reasonable price range, but also is quality and gives you lots of options. So that's kind of where that started. And I really always wanted to start a swimwear line. So
That's awesome.
I'm a big beach girl. Like I already before doing this, I always owned a million different random
Mhm.
swimwear pieces. Never was happy with them, but I was always in my swimwear. So
Yeah.
that's a little background, I feel like.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I am a strong believer and you can never have too many swimsuits.
No, yeah.
See, I finally did the go through your swimsuits because 19-year-old you and 23-year-old you are not the same girl. So now I have like 6 swimsuits, but it's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have like a big chest and like an average size bottom, so it's so hard because I have to get like an extra large or a large in a top and like a medium in a bottom, and like you can't always do that either if like some of the brands sell it as a set. So then it's like, okay, thanks. I either have to like hope that a large will fit down like in my bottoms, or I have to go for like it's so hard. I agree.
Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah. That's also why like I take measurements from everybody. And then let's say a lot of people have like a smaller waist and a bigger butt.
Mhm.
I can make you something that's for a smaller waist and a bigger butt, or make modifications for a bigger chest. Because sizing is atrocious. You could go and buy,
Mhm.
like I used to buy from a brand, and I usually buy a medium for bottoms and a large for top. And I needed like an extra large for the top, but it was loose on me, and a
Mhm.
large in the bottoms, and I had to return things a bunch of times. And that kind of started me having to take them in myself and started hand sewing because my sewing machine couldn't handle it. And that was like one of the turning points where I was like, I should start trying this myself.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That's so cool.
if someone wants to order, do you make it like custom for the person or do you have
Yeah. So if one of you were to
Really?
go and order, you'd probably start by like messaging me on Instagram. Then I'd send you the link, which my website is up and running as of like a month ago. So
Oh,
now all my forms are in the website. and the form will ask you your measurements, what fabrics you want. Everything's reversible, or almost everything is reversible. So you're really getting like more like 4 bikinis in one, since you can flip flop each side, top and bottom, mix and match and whatnot. So you pick out that, you pick out your styles. I have quite a few styles at this point. And then you could tell me like, okay, tops are always gapping in certain areas, bottoms like are way too tight on my bum. You could tell me any kind of fit notes. And then at that point, I would reach out to you with a price point. I could say on average, suits go from like 80 to 100. Now, if you wanted something really crazy, maybe it'd be more, because it could be possible, but that's about average. And then at that point, you would pay any type of payment. I pretty much accept. And I always tell people where they are in the queue, because it's first come, first serve. And then I update to my story, like, okay, you've been cut, I started sewing it, and then you can share and you know what's happening. And it usually takes me like a week, and then it's shipped out.
Nice.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
Really cool.
Yeah.
love
I
it.
don't know of many places where I could do
ready
that.
Yeah, no, I mean, probably Etsy, but but
No,
I
that's
have
awesome.
some that are like ready for sale pieces that I started from thrifting and switching from like what I'm gonna call a granny bikini down to a Denise Elouide bikini. And so those are ready for sale, but I mean, those are limited sizes based on how much fabric I had. You know, same with any other suits that don't say they're upcycles, they're like remnant pieces of fabric. So, and that's something I'm trying to like kind of create more of, so people can have something like, oh crap, I didn't realize I was going next weekend to the Bahamas. Do you have anything? Maybe in the future there'll be more options for that. But I like to stick with custom because, like we just said, it's not really an option everywhere.
Right.
That's so awesome.
That is really cool.
All right. So you mentioned that you've always wanted to create like a swimwear brand. Like, how did you fully begin? Like, when was like the day that you, like, I know you kind of already mentioned, but like, when was the day that you were like, one day this is going to be my life goal?
Okay. So when I was a 6th grader, I don't know if you guys experienced this, but everyone was obsessed with like Coach bags, Dooney and Burke, all these stupid handbags. And I said to my dad, I want one, I want one. He was like, you realize you can design your own things? And I was like, I'm not going to make a handbag. He was like, okay, well, you always want things that other people have, but you realize you can make them yourself. And he already knew I was into fashion and all that. I'd been dressing myself since before I could speak. And so he kind of expressed that idea to me. And from like back in 6th grade, I started like drawing up my own little clothes and own little bags. And that's kind of where like the idea hatched that one day I want to own my own brand. And I decided way back then, I just wanted to be my first and middle name. And then I went to fashion school out in LA. I spent a year there.
Nice.
And all of these projects we did, you were supposed to like share what kind of clothing you want to make. I never talked about swimwear, because swimwear wasn't any part of the curriculum. And I honestly, there's kind of like this weird sense of if I share too much, someone else will take it.
100%.
Sadly, in the clothing world, everything is already just a copy of something else. There's no copyright on clothing. There's nothing you can really do. So I never shared swimwear and I never talked about it, but it was in the back of my mind. I kind of like started with thinking, oh, maybe I'll do athleisure. But my thing was always like versatile pieces, things that you can, the money's worth it because you can do so much with. And then I came home for a short amount of time, like moved back to Florida from LA. And then next thing you know, COVID happened. And when that happened, I had spent all this time like doing all these other little art projects like everyone else had been doing all these little things. And I was like, okay, we're going to break out the sewing machine. We're going to break out the sewing machine. And then once I did it, I was like, I had this like spur of energy and I opened up my phone, I YouTube how to create swimwear. Because I'd made like a jacket in school. I had made pants. I'd learned like all the basics. I knew how to sew before, but I really elaborated on like pattern making and fully putting together garments. So I broke out YouTube and the sewing machine and just started the most insane attempt at creating a swimsuit. I had no idea like anything about that fabric. I hadn't learned anything like that in school. So I guess you could say sometime in April of 2020 is when the full idea hatched. And then from that point on, I can't say that I ever really knew when I was going to start this business or when this was like going to become more of a business for me. I just like kept running with it. So I made my first swimsuit for myself and I instantly like Snapchatted like my close friends and I was like, who wants a swimsuit? It was like $40. Whatever you get is what you get, but I'll make it. I was like, here's what I've already done. I can do this. Like they're like, okay, cool. I had 2 friends instantly and then like 2 or 3 more right after I finished theirs. So I already had bitten off more than I could chew. So I had me and my mom in like my parents' dining room area with our sewing machines that were not good, could not handle this fabric because stretch fabric just gets pulled and shifted and stuck under the everything. It's just horrible. And we just went at it for like weeks on end because it was COVID. There was nothing else to do. We just went at those first swimsuits until they were done. And then from then on out, I already had an Instagram set up for this from forever ago when I attempted to like make a t-shirt design. So I just had reopened it and started telling everyone I was making swimwear. And I had like at first orders were so easy, like super easy. They just flew in. I had a girl who she is a professional bikini physique competitor.
Oh, yeah.
She bought one, she posted it, and then like 4 more people who followed her wanted one. So it
That's awesome.
kind of just turned into a business on its own. Like,
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
yeah.
So now that you've kind of established it, do you have any goals you want, like long-term goals with it? Anything
sure.
you are comfortable sharing? Because I know you just
Yeah.
said you don't want to give your ideas.
Oh
and
no,
stuff,
yeah, I
but
got okay.
yeah.
I can share. So when I was in fashion school, I was 25 when I ended, and my teacher was like, 5-year plan. I was like, working for myself, like most of us probably want to do these days. And I had no idea. Like, although she tried to get us to like map that out, I never really was like, oh, I'll start by 25 making swimwear. I just was like, I'm gonna work myself by 30, or I'm gonna start doing it at 30. So this kind of like did kick me off in that direction. Like the seed was planted. But other than working for myself, I just want to travel more. I mean, I love traveling, and I feel like you could go and you could source fabric, you could meet new people, great locations, make great photography. I just feel like this is such a business that could easily travel. And I love traveling. So that's kind of part of my goals. I always want to continue creating better products just because we all have, a specific style of a bottom doesn't mean there can't be a better version of that bottom. If more people tell me what issues they have in that order form, I can continue to make more pieces that fix those issues and make people feel good. And I always want better fabric. Like, I think I have really quality fabrics, but I have like a very specific fabric I'm trying to source, which the travel part would come back into play. I could travel and find better fabrics. And I also want to do only prints, in-house prints, I guess we'll call them. I currently have a collab print with one of my friends, Groovy Art by Haley, and we got it printed onto the fabric. She made it in Procreate. I did another one with an old coworker before that one. And I would love the idea of only doing that because
that's so cool.
If you go online, you could find fabric like that looks like the patterns I've already used, or you could walk the beach and be like, oh man, she just bought that, from someone on Etsy. That could be found anywhere. So I want to move away from that. That way, unless someone copies me, you won't find it. And then more collabs, it causes more collabs. I want to do more collabs. I want to have more opportunity to like be even more inclusive in sizing. Although I'm always like saying it, I haven't really had the opportunity to work with all different kinds of sizes and people and all different kinds of girls and guys, honestly, because I do make dude shorts.
I saw that.
Yeah. So that's something I really want to like branch out, get more people who want to work with me, get more people modeling. I want to show a little bit of everything. I want this to really be like, oh, look, I can see myself here because she looks like me. He looks like me. I feel good. Feeling good is one of my main goals of this brand. And then like kind of like a crazy one that's like fun. I want to eventually host a pool party. It's just like Denise Elouide
that's
Clothing
only wearing your. That'd be so fun. It's like,
and like you'll get a discount on like a new piece or something. There'll be wraps everywhere. And
I love that.
Yeah.
And
so
also
fun.
on the collab front down the line, we could totally we'd be up for that.
Yes, let's do it. Super down.
Yeah. No, this is really cool. I've
No,
definitely
I think this is awesome.
follow your Instagram. I see it all and everything, but I don't think I know in depth all of this. So that's really
Yeah.
I
cool.
mentioned Siobhan a couple days ago, and I was like, "That's so cool." You like send her in your sizing, and Siobhan was like, "No, I don't think so." And I was like, "No, I'm 95% sure you literally send her in your sizing." And Siobhan was like, Well, I guess we'll find out, but that's really cool. And I was like, no,
Yeah.
that's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's really
like
cool.
I've had one person ask to like video chat about their custom order, which I thought was cool because I had never
Yeah.
had anyone ask, but like I'm down for literally whatever. Like if someone lived local and they want me to come to them, I'll measure them. Like I
That's
have coworkers that order and I'm like, I'll bring in the measuring tape, you know, because the more I can
Wow.
see of someone's body, the more I can understand it. Like my
Mhm.
close friends, I can go like super custom with their stuff because they tell
Yeah.
me all their issues and I see them all the time. I know their sizing.
Mhm.
So I can like nail their size so well. It makes me feel so good. Like
Mhm.
my own mother, I made her a like tankini with like, which was, I have a one piece that I use to make her pattern. I've never really sold that one piece, but I could make it type thing. So I used a one piece and then I used a high-waisted bottom and I did all kinds of edits. And she's like, I swear this thing just holds me in the best. It makes me feel
Oh,
nothing else I've ever felt. And I'm like, that's because the more I know, the better I can create. Like,
yeah.
and that gives
Definitely.
me like such a thrill. I'm like, yes, I did it.
No, that's
Oh.
awesome. And
Yeah.
you seem like super like passionate and everything. So that's
Yeah.
also, I
A
mean,
long time ago,
amazing.
I made one of those TikToks that was like talking about people just being like way too into what they're talking about. I'm like, that's me. If anyone wants to talk bikinis, fashion, photography, like I'll go on for days.
Very
That's so
fair.
funny.
Did you want to keep it swimwear like exclusive, or are you looking to
So
eventually maybe branch out?
So like this top is just like a crop top. It's one that I made. I made a couple, I guess like 2 years ago. I was selling a couple crop tops. I'm kind of like always looking for something in this like off season that we're approaching. Like
Mhm.
as we talked about fall earlier, everyone gets excited about fall and they're more into their decorations and their sweaters. And it's like, where did bikinis go? And although I'm in Florida and I'd say a lot of my clientele is in Florida, it's kind of random because I have Florida, I have a couple people in Michigan, and then I have a couple people in California. And I thought that was just, oh, well, I just have a friend or two, but even that it's even branched out on Instagram to be that way due to the friends and whatnot that I have there. But for, you know, the most part, Florida, you could wear a bikini year round, but that still doesn't mean
Yeah.
that's like on the top of your I want to buy right now list. It's
No,
probably
for
like,
sure.
I'll get a new pair of Uggs and a sweater. So I try to like prep more things during this time. And I haven't really decided what exactly I want to be like my off-season seller. Like I considered robes. I've made a robe before. I considered like pajamas, but nothing's really like felt like me for an off-season item. But something else I have like started creating and I'm trying to expand on is like bike shorts and running shorts. I
Fun.
see people wearing them everywhere, and I love that there could be more color options and more like
Mhm.
sizing specific. Like I wear my own shorts that I made to the gym like almost every time I go to the gym. I'm in a pair of shorts that I made, but it's not something I've really like made more of and promoted on social media yet. So
Okay,
that's kind of the and more part that I'm working on.
very cool.
That's awesome. Well, I was gonna ask the same question, so good job, Chloe.
Oh,
Our brains are the
sorry.
same. No, you're
Yeah.
so fine. No, I just was about to say the same thing I said. So, what would you like say to somebody if they were like happen to come up to you and they're like, I think I want to start a business, not even just clothing, just like in general. Like what would be your best suggestions to them?
My best suggestion is not to give up. Like take everything you want to do and write it down. Maybe like even get a whole notebook organized and dedicated to these ideas. Because I feel like people get excited about something and they shut themselves down on it before they even try. And the more you can like jot down and get out of your head, the more you can work towards those goals. Like I have a notebook that's like the Bible. I write how to
The
create
Bible.
everything in it. I write photo shoot ideas. I write new style ideas, but it's so great to have one thing. And then like as you go, you can always look back on that, but it's also going to keep you motivated, that organization. And I'd also tell people to give yourself goals. Like I'm a Virgo. I'm a very goal oriented person. I love my calendar. I love all of that, but I feel like I work a full-time job on top of doing this, and it's so easy to come home from your job and be like, I'm drained. I don't want to work for myself. But when I see like lists and goals and I'm like, do I really want to spend more time telling people how I'm working on something, or do I want to work on it and be able to
Yeah.
like show what I've done? So I feel like the more organized, the more like task oriented you can be, the easier it will be to accomplish that.
Mhm.
And then
Yeah.
kind of like going back to what we said, if you're passionate about it, there should be no stopping you. You should be going after it, you know?
Yeah.
Even if
For
you
sure.
don't feel like you're making money or know exactly what you're doing, just feel through it. Like just keep doing it because none of us really know what we're doing anyways.
No, literally
No.
no. Like the
Yeah.
mom I'm nanny for, we had a midlife crisis yesterday. Just both of us were like, what are we doing with our life? She's a grown adult. I mean, I'm an adult, but I still think of myself as a child. But like we literally sat there just like having like a mental breakdown together, and we were like, how are we gonna be rich one day? Like, and also like the economy, this, that. Like you can go on like a whole spiel of like life
Oh, yeah.
sucks. And I feel like especially like our age range, where like the COVID times, I call us like COVID kids. Like we all came out of college or like out of like what we wanted to do, trying to get like that full-time job. And then it's like, oh, here's a pandemic where we're gonna lock you in the house for 3 years. And it's like, I feel like a lot of people, at least I know, like their goals changed.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna
Even
lock
like
you away,
from
and
what
then
they
we're gonna
wanted
make
to.
everything like a billion times more expensive. And like,
Yeah,
let's see how it
literally.
goes for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. And I feel like I said, I feel like a lot of people's goals change. Like even me and my boyfriend, I feel like if you talked to us before COVID versus now, like he was supposed to be going to Quantico for psychology. He's now flying planes. Like I was supposed to be an athletic trainer. Now I'm a personal trainer. They're somewhat similar, but they're still very different.
Yeah.
It's still be in school. So I totally agree. Like I feel like with the podcast, we have like our own little goals that like Sean and I like individually come up with, and we kind of like give them to each other. And we're like, wait, that could be fun. And then like
Yeah.
combine them into even like a bigger goal. So I totally see that. Because like for the podcast for us, it's like the side hustle right now.
Yeah.
And like Sean has a full-time job. I have 2 part-time jobs, basically equals a full-time job. Like
Yeah.
it all adds up. But you just
Oh,
gotta
yeah.
keep pushing for
Yeah.
sure.
And it's like
Definitely.
it feels so good to do something that
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to do, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like there should be nothing stopping, you know? There should be nothing
Mhm.
stopping.
For sure. No, I definitely have those
Yeah.
moments from like, oh, I don't want to anymore. Like I'm drained. Work is tiring, and
Mm-hmm.
you know, you just gotta
Yeah.
push through it.
I feel like you gotta like, yeah, you gotta take those moments as okay, I need the break, and then run with it like a couple days later, whatever you need, get back to
Yeah.
it though.
No, for sure. I actually saw, or I was listening to another podcast, and she said the biggest or the only failure or something along that line is to not try or to give up. And I agree. Like you'll never know unless you try. And if you give up,
Mhm.
then you're technically failing yourself, essentially.
I feel like what my mom always says too. I was on the podcast a really long time ago. If anybody listened, she was like one of our OG. I think she was the OG guest. But her like overall saying still to this day is like fill your own cup before you can pour onto others. And although we all like have jobs and we all have like our goals, at the end of the day, if you're not like going home and like working on something that you want to do for you, like not for your company that you work for, not for anything else, but like for yourself, I feel like we'll never have like that fulfillment. So I honestly love that you have like the side hustle
Yes.
No.
I
part
agree
of
with
it.
that.
So
Whenever people are like, I need a hobby, I'm like, find one. Like we got plants, we got
just find one. Yeah.
art, we got all kinds of things, but without that, you need that outlet. Like
Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Yeah. Anything else you want to share? Anything about the business, about yourself, anything?
I don't think so. I can say this past week I launched one top and one new bottom, and I have another one coming. Both of those bottoms are kind of giving a little bit more coverage than what my normal seller is, because my usual seller is thongs. I know that's not everyone's thing, but I always tell everyone there is something for everyone because I can custom make it for you. And I have a ton of fabrics right now, and the website's up and running, DeniseElouideClothing.com.
Yeah, plug yourself.
Awesome.
Instagram, TikTok,
Yeah.
whatever you have.
Website, DeniseElouideClothing.com, Instagram, Denise.Elouide.clothing, and same with Facebook, same thing. And that's
All
We'll
right.
link those all below too for anybody listening.
Yeah.
We'll link them down below.
Yeah, definitely go check her out.
I'm about to go
Yeah.
check her out after this.
No, literally.
She's about to get-
Same.
I'm about to email her and she's gonna be like, leave me alone. She's gonna be like, I just talked to you for an hour. I'm just like,
Definitely.
hi, we just talked. Please make me a bathing suit. Please and thanks. Love you. All right, friends. Well, I think that's the end. Do you have any other questions, Shauna?
I don't think I do.
I said, do you have any more questions? And you're like, I was like, Okay.
So me deciding. No, I don't think I have any other
All right.
questions right now.
All right, friends. Thank you for listening into today's episode. Thank you, Denise, for being on the podcast. I think that what you're doing is amazing. Don't give up, as you said yourself. I think it's awesome. Everybody, please go check her out. A lot of our listeners are Florida gals. You can wear a bathing suit all year long. Also, maybe you're going somewhere that it's about to be really, really warm. I don't know. Maybe somebody's traveling somewhere cool. So thank you guys for listening. If you are listening on Apple or on Spotify, make sure to leave a review or rating. If you're on YouTube, make sure you subscribe or maybe leave some comments, questions, concerns. Bashwana says be nice. And if you want to follow us on Instagram, we're at thereandback.pod. But thank you guys again for listening in. We hope you guys are enjoying the guest episodes. We're so privileged to have people that want to connect with us and kind of share their life with us. So thank you again, Denise. And yeah, thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
See you next Tuesday.
Bye, guys.